Today, we're going to quickly talk through an update from Bleacher Breaks around some things they've improved within their process to try and make, their breaking platform a bit more secure for you as a customer. Now, if you're not sure who Bleacher Breaks is, we spoke about them, many times over the last few weeks. Essentially, they were a group breaker who lost cards, right? They were basically mailing, cards to the wrong customers within group breaks, i.e. if somebody hit a card for the Dolphins, somebody else got those cards, which is exactly what happened with, a Jalen Waddle 1-of-1 quite famously. Now, as I basically said in that set of videos, I didn't think these guys were scammers. I thought they were just poorly run and that they just made a lot of mistakes. And, my outcome was the same as whether or not they were scammers or not, right? My outcome and my recommendation was to not break with them. Basically, since all this stuff popped off, I actually reached out to them, to try and get a bit more information around what was happening. I think I alluded to that in the previous videos. And I basically told them, some things that I'd expect from a breaker to try and implement if they wanted to be working, more effectively and efficiently and better, protect their customers. The things they've come out are actually right up that alley. And some of those suggestions are things I put forward to them. If you're a regular of the channel, the things I'm about to say or the things that they've implemented are things I've spoken about, for many months with regards to group breakers in general. Now, we can quickly jump through what it is they're doing. They talk through the fact that they've put things on hold for the last few weeks, given that all the issues popped off. I'm not exactly sure if they actually did stop breaking, so someone can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. I'm sure they were still breaking at some point during that period. But essentially, they've also talking through the fact that they've paused the operation, had over 50 employees as they look to investigate and try and come up with ways to sort of fix things moving forward. Now, the thing that excites me with this, not so much whether or not people are going to break with them again, because I think they may have, bit the hand that fed them too many times. But the things they're talking about here are literally the things I expect every single freaking breaker to do moving forward, right? And the regulars on the channel, like I said a bit earlier, will know that I talk to this, right? They talk through logistics, right? They're reducing the number of people that are going to be having the opportunity to handle cards, right? It sounds like a very basic thing, but so many breakers take this for granted, right? The mindset with these breakers is to pump through as much product as possible, right? Because they want to maximize the revenue they can make per stream. The more spots they sell, the more boxes they open, the more money they make, right? So the whole, handling and that sort of stuff becomes second priority to them, when in reality, making sure that you do things the right way is your utmost priority. So they haven't really gone into the detail, but what I assume this means is that the second you're sort of breaking it, you're putting the cards aside to make sure they're going to the right person, which is freaking common sense, right? All these good breakers out there that do the right thing would be like, yeah, no, don't, like we do that all the time. So what are you guys talking about, Bleacher Breaks? The next two steps are what I think is the key thing, right? And this is where I think fanatics and whatnot might start, mandating people to do this moving forward. We're talking about surveillance, right? And I told this to the guys in the DMs. I may even actually said it in the video, where they're literally going to record every single piece of packaging before it goes out. As you can see there, invested in a new surveillance system, so each breaking and fulfillment station will be fully monitored. High value inventory will include additional documentations as it's fulfilled and shipped. What that basically means is when there's an expensive card, like a 1-of-1 as an example, they can maybe have some internal tracker, like I touched on in those videos, that'll help them make sure that, okay, there's a checklist that they need to follow to make sure that it's going to the right people. The whole surveillance system will pretty clearly highlight, where the errors are going, right? Because what will happen is, if a card goes missing again, what they could say is the customer, well, I didn't get this card. Bleacher Breaks would immediately go, okay, when will the packages process for the breaks we did on XYZ day? Somebody would sit there and watch the video and say, okay, that's where that card went to the wrong person. We put it in the wrong package, crap. Or, wait a minute, that card is not in any of the boxes. Where did it go? They do more investigations. Oh, somebody's stealing these freaking cards. That's the sort of analysis you can do off the back of this. And again, it's sort of common sense, but not something you see a whole lot of in the group breaking situation. And it's something that should be there, in my opinion. Every breaker should be doing that. Not so much to just, make sure the customer's getting their own cards and getting the right cards and all that sort of stuff. Not just to make sure that errors don't occur as frequently as they are for Bleacher Breaks. It's more so to protect yourself as a business, right? Because, you see it on eBay all the time. There's just as many people out there that are scamming as sellers as there are as buyers, saying a certain card didn't arrive when in reality they're lying because they want to get a refund, right? That stuff happens, all the time on eBay. You see it all the time on these Facebook groups. So that's going to protect you as a business as well. So it's a no-brainer once again, in my opinion. The third thing they talk to is implementing customer support, where they want to try and resolve all issues within 24 hours. If you guys, also recall a pretty big issue from them with regards to the whole Jalen Waddle situation is that people were chasing for months and getting no resolution. And they also found it quite hard to get, remediation from the person, right? Getting a refund or getting some form of compensation. So again, that's a really, really good thing. But again, it's something that you'd expect, to be, common sense. There's a bit more information from what their founder has basically said on the whole thing. So read that for yourself. But, I just wanted to give you that update because it's a really good outcome for us as collectors within the hobby, pushing back on something, actually getting some change that is going to be really beneficial for us as, collectors, as investors, as participants within the hobby, right? We're now getting more value out of Bleacher Breaks. Now, again, you might not want to go there again. I probably wouldn't go there myself, given the issues. But if you were somebody that was teetering, this is going to be enough comfort, in my opinion, for you to jump back in with them. My recommendation would still be to avoid, most breakers, including these guys. But, that is what it is. It's just my opinion. I think this thing is a step in the right direction. They'll probably still cop hate for it. But again, that's life, right? There's going to be hate no matter, what you do or don't do. So I think this is something that every single breaker should be doing moving forward. I'm really keen to get your thoughts on this. I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning, about 12 hours after you see this regarding the whole blowout forum situation where it looks like they're banning people and suspending people for commenting and calling out people like Ken Golden and Jeff Wilson. So, stay tuned for that because it's going to be very, very interesting. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.